Hello friends, welcome to my channel Container Simplified. In this video, we will discuss about Docker and its various components. So Docker, as we know, is a shining star of DevOps world, which popularized this container virtualization technology and took it to the masses. So there were container technologies before Docker, but Docker made it very simple to build and launch containers. So and over the years there's been a lot of changes in how Docker works under the hood. So yeah, in this video we'll have a look at this. So what I'll do, I'll divide this into three you see three categories of how the Docker currently works and how is the flow of the data. So first is your Docker CLI and Docker daemon. So this is the very high level user interaction tools where you and me will basically interact. So when we need to create a Docker image, we need to pull it from a remote Docker registry, or we need to run a container. So we will use Docker command, which is Docker CLI, and there is a backend process which is running, which is a Docker daemon. So which is listens to the any commands coming from Docker CLI, and then it works with the next component, basically delegates all the requests to Containerd, which is our second component which we will see. So Containerd is a tool which takes requests from Docker CLI or Docker daemon, and then it will do lower level container lifecycle management. So like pulling images from remote registries or taking requests for running the containers. So this will be done by Containerd. So Containerd is another binary. So we will have a look at the second half of this video, how this container runtime is installed, but it's the lower level management of containers is handled by Containerd. So yeah, as I mentioned, it will pull images, it will stop the container, it will also manage the networking and the storage. So you may request I need a new network in Docker. So this is the Containerd which is managing those tasks for you. So it's more now pluggable components. So earlier it was all monolith, but now they have broken down into various components to make it more modular. And the next component in this chain is runc, which is the runtime component and which is the most low level component which runs the containers. So what happens is Containerd prepares a OCI package with the directory structure and a JSON file of what commands to run, what network to use, what are the storage things. So this OCI package is handled to runc for running the containers, and then runc takes that OCI package and it will do the low level changes like managing the Linux namespaces for that request, setting the it will set the namespaces, it will set the C groups, and then it will work with the Linux kernel to start the process which is there in that OCI package JSON file, basically what command to run, and then the container will be started. So this is how the flow of information from Docker CLI to Containerd to your runc. So yeah, now we will have a look. So on this system, I already have Docker installed. So my purpose is to show you various components that are installed. So you see, I just see, I'm running this Docker to see is there any long running Docker process, and we can spot Docker D's there. So Docker D is the Linux, that daemon process that is triggered by Docker, and then there is this Docker binary, which is the main component we use to interact with Docker build, Docker pull. You must have used these commands as well. And then there is a container D. So container D is again another binary, so which is running. So you may see there is a Docker D daemon process as running, which takes the request from Docker, and then it will work with the runc as we discussed earlier. So yeah, we can check the status of Docker. So systemctl status Docker. So it will give whether your Docker container is, your application container engine is running or not, which is your Docker daemon service. And now we will see in a Ubuntu based system how you can install Docker. So yeah, first we can check what is our version of the OS, because there are different packages for based on what's the version of your Ubuntu or Red Hat, CentOS, whatever system you are trying to use. So it can be easily, using the uname command, you can check what's the version, and then we will go to the Docker website and look for our specific packages. So yeah, that is our Ubuntu Jammy 22.04. The installation of Docker is very easy. So you can use the packages provided by the operating system, but those are a bit older version. So that's why I have gone directly to the Ubuntu website to get the latest Docker for that OS. So yeah, just copy and paste. Yeah, I just copied everything from there, and let's see how much time. It shouldn't take much time to set up these things. So once your repositories are set, and then we can just give all the packages we need to install Docker. I'm just waiting for this to finish. Yeah, the internet on my machine is not very fast here, but if you have a very fast internet, it would be very quick. Yeah. So now I'm giving all the Docker CLI, which is Docker Community Edition, Docker C CLI, then Containerd, the BuildX plugin, which is used to build your Docker images, and Docker Compose, which is we will have a look maybe in the next video, but it is a way to manage like multiple containers when you have. So Docker Compose is a very useful tool to learn. So yeah, as a test, we will just run a hello world kind of container. So it will just pull the hello world image from a remote registry and run it on our system to just prove end to end our setup is working as expected. So that's the first container that is basically run to check whether the installation is correct. You see, it's not able to find the image locally, so it pulled it from Docker Hub, and then it printed the output of that container image, which is a message from hello from Docker, and it says the installation worked correctly. Now you've seen we have to pass sudo when we were running our Docker commands, because the Docker daemon is running as a root process. So what we will do is we will just add our user to a Docker group. Then we don't have to give sudo every time we are issuing our Docker commands. So yeah, this command will add our user to the Docker group, which is created by the Docker installation. So all these instructions are there on the Docker Hub website. Like if you see in the URL is the Linux post install page. So you can just go to the post install page and have a look at all the instructions on how you can just create this group and be part of that Docker group if it is not there. And now I'm running this command without sudo and it's the same result. So next time you don't have to use the sudo for running anything to the Docker. So I hope this video was useful to you and you learned about containerization and various Docker components. And in the future videos, we will discuss more in detail. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.